Hello, everybody. This is Noah back for episode 27 of the series of Thought Bubbles. In case you're new, welcome in. This is basically a series where I document all the things that I think about on a bi weekly basis, but things that I think about daily. Couple of things. The marching band is out there practicing right now. So if you hear them during whatever I'm going to talk about today, then I don't really want to apologize. You know what? Like, marching band kids work hard, bro. If you've ever been in a marching band, if you've ever been like a part of any like team, whatever, especially like in the arts in marching band, you know how hard it is, and I know how hard they work. So I will gas them up, and they're very good. They're like the best in the state, so they're really really good for a reason because they practice. Anyway, um, today's topic that I wanted to talk about was something about celebrating the small wins. Um, I've kind of been thinking about it a little bit more because I've been trying to be a little bit less like quick to being upset about things. And I think that it's important to celebrate wins first because I feel like as I mentioned kind of in the being so quick to be negative or be pessimistic, like part of the way to I guess get better at it or like remedy the situation is to kind of instead of being so quick to just have a first reaction like what's going wrong, like why am I not good enough at this, whatever it might be, to be more like forgiving and kind of focus on things that are positive and start your day with more things that are positive. So instead of waking up and being like, oh, I gotta go to work, like all these things are going wrong in my life, instead if you kind of flip it and think about it of like you wake up and you're like, okay, what are the small things? I got up on time. And even if you didn't get up on time, like you still got enough time to go shower, whatever it might be, you're just practicing for like when things go wrong. You know what I mean? Like, but like being thankful for the small things in life. And so I feel like starting your day like being positive and like having that kind of like positive mindset really helps the snowball kind of get going, and it stops like the negative snowball, you know what I mean, from like taking shape. Because I think especially when like you have like a negative train of thought or like a positive train of thought, it's very much like a snowball effect. Like as soon as like the first positive thought comes in, then it's kind of like the next thing, and then you kind of like over time as you keep going, like it gets a lot easier over time to like appreciate things. And like the same thing can be said for like negative thoughts, right? Like once like one thing goes bad, it's kind of like just like a snowball of like things that are just like this sucks, I hate this, like whatever it might be, right? So I've been trying to be a bit more positive, but one thing that I've noticed is that it's hard for me to kind of like have distinguishable like wins or like positives. I don't know if like this is the case for everybody else, but like a lot of times when I'm trying to find like good things, I need like really, really big good things to happen, if that makes sense. So like I'm gonna put this in the perspective of bowling because like bowling has been like basically the main thing that I've been working on for like a really, really long time. Or not really long time, for like maybe a couple of months. But like essentially I feel like part of it is like the wins are just like even just signing up to go on a weekly basis, going out and talking to people and saying, "Hey, I want to join a league." Something like that, being like, you know, um showing up on time to get to your alley or like at your lane reservation, going out, just shooting, stretching, doing whatever, right? Small wins. But they do matter. Like those small wins and being able to appreciate kind of those small things in life really like puts me in a good mood because like what I found was like I would come into a lot of practice sessions like really upset a lot of the time, and especially like in a sport that's so like mentally like where your mental is so important, like bowling, it's really important to keep a good mindset, I think, throughout the time that you're bowling. And like so I found a lot of the times that like when one small thing would go wrong, that like it just chalks the whole day, right? Like I have one bad game and it's over with. But like I've been trying to like come in with a bit more positive mindset, be a bit better on my mental in terms of like practicing and performing. But like it's very hard to like find wins when like for me it's like okay, if I shoot like anything above a 210, that's a win for me. But it's like it's such like a results based thing and something that doesn't happen regularly enough, just because like I'm practicing, I'm still trying to get better, but like I if that's like the only win that I have, then it's like, okay, if I don't hit it, then it just feels like the practice session was a waste. And like that's kind of like frustrating, because it's like there's not a lot of positives to celebrate. Where on the converse, it's like there's so many small negative things that just add up. I missed a spare. I like didn't have good form at the line or whatever it might be, right? Like it's so easy to focus on the negatives for me that like and like on the converse side, the only thing that balances it out is like w- shooting a 210, which I've done before, which like gives me some happiness, but then it's like very fleeting because it's like the next time I miss a spare, it's like chalked for me, right? So for me, one thing that I've been thinking about and I really want to get better at is like appreciating the small wins in life. And like as I mentioned, like in bowling, right? It's like, yeah, I made a spare, something like that. Even it could be like literally something small. It could just be like I walked to the line and I threw my ball and I didn't fall over. I didn't drop my ball. Something small like that. Like, and it doesn't have to be something as grand as like shooting a 300, shooting even a 200, like being able to shoot your average or like do something like that. Like that's what should be able to like celebrate those things. And it feels so hard for me to like recognize because it feels like I have to do something bigger. And that like, I think a lot of it too has to comes from the fact that like I've been ingrained to like push to be the best or whatever it is. Like, for those of you with Asian parents, you kind of know like they always push you like to be the best and like work hard and do whatever. But like when you get into such like a comparison battle, it's like those small minute wins or like whatever it might be, like the small progress feels like insignificant in value. It's like when you're doing calculations and like when I was doing calculations in college and they tell you like, the change that you make by changing this one variable is negligible. That's basically what I'm doing. Is like I don't see getting to the line and not falling over as a significant win. I see it as almost like a expectation in a way that like, like if I do it, it's a zero in my like happiness meter, and if I don't do it, it's like a big negative. That's basically kind of how like I've been treating it. And so like I've been trying to reframe it so that like the value proposition is like a small plus if I do it, and basically like flipping it where like for the small wins you get a small plus if you do it and like a net zero if you don't do it, right? But like trying to treat those like small things, those small minute things as like something meaningful. One, it's pretty hard because like as I mentioned, for all my life it's kind of like, I like think about it as like in baseball, like you always want to chase the home runs, and like those are for sure wins, right? Like you get some happiness out of it. But like when you hit a certain amount of home runs, like the next home run doesn't really feel like a big accomplishment. Whereas like, if you're a big home run hitter, like a single is kind of just insignificant to you. But like if you strike out or you foul out or whatever it might be, right? It's like a really, really bad thing and like hurts your mental and whatever, right? Like that's kind of how I imagine things. But instead, I'm trying to flip it in the sense of like, I want to be able to appreciate the singles, the doubles, like the base hits, bunts, even, like things that are like small, insignificant things that like to some people, but like are positives and should be celebrated as such. And I think like it's hard because for the first few days that I've been trying to be more appreciative of like the smaller wins in my life, I guess like I never really mentioned it, but like outside of the bowling alley, it's like, maybe just reading a few pages every day from a book that I'm trying to read, which as has been documented, the don't believe anything or don't believe everything you can think book, which has been well documented throughout this channel, and probably we'll have a couple of more videos come up. But um, you know, um even doing something like that of like reading a couple pages every day, or like stuff like getting up on time in the morning, or like making myself some breakfast or getting all my things packed, these are like small wins. But it's like if I celebrate them the same way that I would if I like finished a project or did really well at work, or like found out that like my billings were really good, like something like that, like celebrating those small wins makes it so much easier to like one kind of get the positive thinking and mindset going, because I feel like just as negative thoughts lead to more negative thoughts, on the contrary, like positive thoughts can lead to more positive thoughts, and like getting that snowball rolling is so important, especially like in the morning, like starting your day off right, like, and being able to celebrate those small wins is so important. But For me, it's just like, as I mentioned, it's just like it feels so like mundane that like I feel like I like undersell myself sometimes, and even things that would be like wins to a lot of people, like even things as like getting A's on tests for a while, like especially when I was in like middle school and high school, was kind of just like a, oh, like that was kind of like the expectation, and I didn't really like feel anything. And so a lot of times I wouldn't even celebrate those things, even though those are wins. Those are wins, y'all. Like getting an A on the test is insane. And even if you didn't, as long as you showed up and did your best, I feel like that's like an A in my book, or at least me now that I'm trying to be a bit more positive. But like being able to celebrate those type of wins, and like I think it's hard at first, especially like if you've been trained to like listen to that part of your voice to that tells you to like be the best, and that like getting a B is not enough, or like it doesn't matter if you tried, all that matters is the result, like I feel like if that's all you tell yourself, then like very small things can make you spiral negatively, and also like you just don't really like feel a lot of like dopamine hits, you don't feel a lot of positives, and so it's really hard to kind of get that positive snowball going. And I feel like in the same hand too, it's like if you're trying to like push towards a goal or something like that, right? Like that's kind of what ends up leading to like hating the process or like hating the work, is like if you don't celebrate the small little like progress steps you made, right? And I think this is something that I struggled to do in our project for senior design, which was like I didn't really like celebrate some of the small wins where it's like, we fixed this one bug in code or whatever it is. It's kind of like it made those things feel like not very significant movements, and then it led to me being like frustrated and upset when like big steps in our project just didn't happen, like because it won't like it's so hard, especially for like end projects like senior capstone projects, to like fix Rome in one night, like to make everything work in one day, or like whatever it is, right? Like it's a year long project, and like it's so frustrating if you can't celebrate like the small little improvements, because it makes it like you feel like you have to either like skip steps, to try and hit that home run. You want to skip steps and like try and cheat or whatever it is, right? Like cheat on the test to get like the A, something like that, right? Like you want to skip steps, and like because you just don't like the monotonous like putting your head down and grinding, because like putting your head down and grinding doesn't necessarily like mean you have to like not be happy, like I feel like there's been this like idea that like when you're told to like grind or lock in or whatever, that it's got to be like a negative thing, and like you got to put everything aside, put your feelings aside and go. But it's like, is it really worth it if you're not like enjoying it? You know what I mean? Like it's so important to, even if you're like focused really really hard on making one thing happen, to celebrate the small progress steps that you make. And like even if you don't think that like, oh, this is like not significant, it like does add up over time, like if you make us like 10 cents every day, at the end of the year you're gonna have like, what is that? Sorry, I can't do math. It's been a long day right now, but like you'd have like a decent amount of money. You know what I mean? Rather than like getting $100 one day and then every day else is just nothing. Like small consistent wins are so important, and like being able to celebrate that for yourself and be positive is like, I feel like it does wonders for trying to complete a goal or chase something that you really want. And that's why I think so far in my life, my inability to, or like struggle to celebrate some of the smaller wins in my life has led me to like get more frustrated with long-term projects, or like give up on those when I really shouldn't be, and trying to chase like the really big quick hit of dopamine, like trying to fix Rome in a day, trying to like hit the home run, whatever it might be, right? Like, but one, it's just not gonna happen. It's really hard to do that, and the chances of it are like one in a million, right? And also on the same token, it's like you just don't enjoy it. Like the whole enjoyment of doing a task, doing the goal, is because one, you like to do it, and two, it's like when you like to do it, you celebrate those small like minute wins. Like being able to take something that like most people would be like, yo, this is normal, why do you care? Like being able to care and like celebrate it is so and so important. So that's something that I'm trying to do, is just be a bit more mindful of that and like celebrate the small wins in my life. I think one exercise that's been helping me is when I get into the office every day, I write on a piece of paper like three wins from the day prior that I had. And even if it's like something small, like I sent an email out, I wrote a document or whatever it is, I spent some time journaling, whatever it might be, and being able to like celebrate those things has been interesting. It's been difficult because like I feel like I'm kind of forcing myself to search for wins, but like over time I'm hoping and I know that I feel like in my soul that um it'll get easier over time to like celebrate the small wins, and hopefully it'll become a habit. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video as well. Let me know in the comments section if you guys are also trying to celebrate small wins in your life or struggle with it like me. But as always, it's a process. So um, if you enjoyed the video, like it, please sub if you would like to subscribe, or if you would like to watch a different video of mine. I'm going to throw it up there in the corner. This is a playlist of all my videos that I've made so far in this series. And here's a little button to subscribe. But hopefully you guys enjoyed, and thank you again for watching. I am wearing an Optic jersey. They did lose, which was kind of sad, but it was a good series nonetheless. Anyway, see y'all next time, hopefully.